Welcome to the Sunday Reach by Dominicans in India. This is a reflection on the 27th Sunday in Ordinary Time. My dear brothers and sisters, in today's Gospel passage, we have Pharisees approaching Jesus and asking him a question. Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife? Actually, this was a trap because of three reasons. The first reason was, according to Mosaic law, there is a concession for a man to divorce his wife. It was a concession from the original plan of God for a married couple that we read in Deuteronomy chapter 24, 1 onwards. But in the prophetic literature, especially in the prophet Malachi, we see chapter 2 verses 13 to 16, God is very categorically denying divorce. He says, I hate divorce. Verse 16. Another context is, in the Jewish tradition, there are two prominent schools. One is Hillel school, which interprets Mosaic law very strictly. And we have Shammai school, which interprets the Mosaic law very liberally. A third context is, in the chapter 6 of Mark's Gospel, we have the incident of John the Baptist criticizing Herod the king for marrying the wife of his brother Philip, and as a result, he was beheaded. We all know the story. So this is the context, and that is why this was a kind of trap. Because if Jesus falls into that, it has got very much political significance, and he can invite the enmity of the civil authorities. But Jesus, in a very shrewd manner, he escapes all this cunningness of the Pharisees, and he directly addresses the question of marriage and divorce. He categorically denies that divorce is not within the plan of God. He says that if Moses allowed divorce with certain conditions, it was because of the hardness of heart, the rebelliousness of the stiff-necked people that we see in the life of people of Israel. So, according to Jesus, the original plan of God is very well depicted in the second chapter of Genesis. God created man, male and female, he created them. And after creating Adam in the chapter 2, we see that he could not find a fitting partner for Adam. So, rest of the creation, all the animals, plants, and mountains and seas and everything was created, but none of them could be a perfect partner for Adam. And he created Eve from the ribs of Adam. And when Eve came in front of Adam, he said, "This at last is a bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." Later on we read that the man leaves his father and mother and joins with the husband, and they become one flesh. And the same message is conveyed, the same message is reiterated by Jesus in today's gospel passage. That is the original plan of God. God created human beings. God made these people to come together as husband and wife, man and woman to come together as husband and wife. They gave consent to each other, said, "Bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." I'm sure not only Adam said this, even Eve must have said, "You are my beloved, I love you." And they did that in the presence of God. That is why every marriage is a sacrament when it is done in the name of God before the church, before the community of believers, by the consent of the couple. So this is the original plan, and Jesus does not want to give any concession on this regard. But the reality of divorce is a very tragic reality. In the Catholic circle, it is known as annulment of marriage. Whatever may be, there is a separation of a man and woman who came together once to be husband and wife, and now they are separated. That is the tragic reality of divorce. What are the reasons for this divorce? In my experience of counseling with so many people, married couple and family members, I understand there are three major reasons. The first one is there is no prior investigation of the whereabouts of the man and the woman, the boy and the girl. People look for money, comfort, career, profession, and when these things come together, people think that this person is fitting for me, and they jump into that. I have so many examples I can say where people at last felt cheated. That means there is no proper investigation before entering into the sacred matrimony. The second reason is the whole question of falling in love. Falling in love is a wonderful experience. Means just like Adam and Eve fell in love with each other, Adam said, "This at last is the bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." The couple, the boy and girl, should fall in love. But unfortunately, in most of the cases, falling in love happens in a different way. They fall in love with the appearance of each other, or the deceptive projections of along with this appearance. They think that this person is of that kind, this person is such and such. But after the marriage, they are disillusioned and they understand that that is not the case. They forget that a person is a product of so many things, not just the appearance or not just what is being projected. A person is a product of a culture, background, family, educational background, profession. Even there are negativities, emotional imbalances, temperaments, behavioral problems. All these things are part of the whole person. Sometimes in the act of falling in love, all these background aspects are being hidden. And when they enter into the matrimony, the marital bond, sooner or later they discover that this person is not the same. So that is the problem with falling in love. A third problem is after the marriage, allowing the weeds to grow in the married life. We read in Matthew chapter 13, 24 to 28, we have the incident of a sower sows good seeds. But as the plants grew up, there were weeds. And the disciples came and asked the master, "We sowed good seeds. How come these weeds?" Then the master said, "The enemy has done it. And there is an enemy who wants to destroy the fabric of family life, the fabric of marital bond. That is why he gradually blinds the mind of these people and dries up love for each other, because he puts the seeds of suspicion, distrust, infidelity, negativity, lies, many things in the life of the married couple, and they fall into that. So these are the three major reasons. There could be many other reasons in the present situation because of the economic, financial independency, and many other things could be reasons. But I focus on these three. Now, along with these reasons, there are also tragic consequences of divorce. First of all, divorce brings about deep-rooted hurt in the life of husband and wife, man and woman. From the part of God, they lose the grace, sanctifying grace. They will never be able to love each other any longer. Even the love itself can be dried in their life. Secondly, they will never trust each other, not only each other, any other person. They develop a kind of behavior based on distrust. Thirdly, children are the biggest victims of this separation. They will grow with a lot of emotional problems. That is why divorce at any cost has to be avoided. We are not blindsided towards the reality of the tragic experiences of the people with regard to divorce. We are not. We look at them compassionately, we can assist them, but at the same time, we will have to tell the parents of children, to the community of believers, and to the church that we need to make every diligent move to bring the marriage intact. What are some of the solutions that we can bring about? The first, to go back to the original plan of God. Sacrament of marriage happens in the presence of God, before the community of believers, by the consent of man and woman. These three stakeholders have very responsible duties to each other. God does his part by uniting them together. He provides them with the graces whenever they need. And there are countless and numerous examples whereby people are helped by these actual graces of sacrament of marriage. But when sin enters into life, when those seeds and weeds enter into life, God can withdraw the sanctifying grace, because sin disrupts the flow of sanctifying grace in the life of the married couple. Secondly, we need to encourage the youngsters to enter into proper discernment. When they feel that they are called to this the status of married life, they should be assisted to find the right partner in prayer with the help of elders in the community, maybe priests or religious. We need to find out which is the right way of going about. Even with regard to falling in love, they should fall in love with the entire personality. And if they find any incompatibility with that person, they should have the courage to say no to that person. Thirdly, the married couple need to learn to pray. The family which learns to pray, learns to live and love each other. The married couple, husband and wife, father and mother, should pray especially together. Like we have the example in the case of Tobias. In the book of Tobit, we have Tobias praying with his wife. That should be an example for all the married couple throughout their life. Not only that they themselves pray, they need to bring together their children or rest of the family members to pray together. And once this married couple and family pray together, no enemy can breach into their life. They will be able to live their life in the presence of God always, and they will be able to sail through all the struggles and troubles that come on their way triumphantly. May the Lord, who joined all the married couple, who has joined together, give all of you the grace to live your life, and let no man put asunder what God has joined.